All right, second grade, we are going to outline our Vincent van Gogh sunflowers, and we are going to be using glue for this. So you have to make sure that your drawing is completely finished, okay, before you do this part. Now, I went ahead and drew a drawing on black paper. Raise your hand if you did your drawing on black paper like me, okay? If you did your drawing on black paper, you are going to use a regular glue, okay? These are the glues that have either orange or blue lids, and you can find them in the glue drawer. Raise your hand if you did your drawing on a different colored paper, like blue or green or purple, okay? We want to make sure these pencil lines get covered up, okay? We can't really see them on the black paper, but on this paper we can. So you're going to use my special, magical black glue. I made this. So if you're going to use the black glue, what you need to do is before you use it, make sure the lid is all the way closed, righty-tighty, and I just want you to shake it for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This just makes sure that everything's mixed up nice and good. And I'm just going to open it just a tiny bit. The last thing I want is to squeeze this and have glue go everywhere and ruin my picture, okay? I am right-handed. Raise your hand if you're right-handed like Mrs. Ritzer is, okay? You want to start from the top left side and work your way down to your picture, because otherwise, if you start this way, you're going to end up if you start this way, you're going to end up rubbing your glue around with your hand, okay? So I'm going to start here and watch what I'm doing. I'm just barely squeezing my glue and nothing's coming out, so that means I need to open it a little more. So I was just kind of being careful. I'm not going to squeeze hard because I don't know how fast it's going to come out. Okay, and now my goal is to gently and carefully outline all my lines. Okay. So this is why I wanted you to try to do nice big flower petals, because do you see how it's going to be very hard now if you drew small flower petals? Okay? Because you have a very small space and it might accidentally get completely filled in with glue. Okay. Raise your hand if you're all finished with your drawing. Okay? Raise your hand if you have a few more things to finish. Okay? Remember, we wanted to draw maybe 3 to 5 flowers, nice and big in the top half of our paper. Okay, the next step after the flowers was the vase. Okay, we want to draw the flowers in the top half, and then the vase goes in the bottom half. After that, we draw our stems and our leaves. And then our table. Now this is really going to be the only thing we can do today, because after we get done with this, our paper is going to be all wet with glue. So we really need to let it dry before we can move on to the next step. Now when I'm doing this, I'm not squeezing very hard with my glue, because if I do and I mess up, I'm going to get a big black mess on my paper and it's going to dry that way. It'll be really hard to wipe this off and make it better. So I want you to go nice and carefully. If you are waiting for a black glue, you can grab a scratch piece of paper and free draw while you're waiting for the glue, because I know that there aren't as many black glues. Almost done. Does anybody remember what Vincent van Gogh's favorite color was. You can answer together if you'd like.
Yellow.
It was yellow. He loved to draw sunflowers. Now, your flowers do not have to be sunflowers. They can be really any kind of flower you would like. I'm making mine sunflowers because I really do love sunflowers. Now, I'm just looking over this now to make sure I didn't skip any lines. Now I'm going to close my glue and pass it to the next person. I want to really righty-tighty that glue. If you leave your glue open even just a little bit, air gets inside, and that is death of the glue, okay? Then you're gonna get a paper towel if you're the last person to use this, just to wipe the top off. I'm gonna set this on the drying rack super carefully. I wanna carry it nice and flat over to the drying rack. I don't wanna tilt it, okay? Now if I'm using the white glue on my black paper,